my friends, Jacobs here once again. Thank you for pressing that play button, for spending a little quality time with me, for visiting the ladder and getting ready to take off into space, if it exists. But I'll tell you one thing that people are trying to make you think exists is the aliens, because you can't get away from the aliens. Alien this, alien that, everywhere you look. We even got like a mysterious blob that, it's approaching New York and it'll get there in 15 million years. Yeah, you heard about the mysterious blob. It was an Alien movie that came out the remake came out August 5th, 1988. Now it's in the news. There's a lot of stuff going on with the alien craft that is known as Comet Atlas. Three-eye Atlas, that's I.
The orbit, the trajectory of this object appears to be quite remarkable. It arrives within 5 degrees of the orbital plane of the Earth around the Sun. And the chance of that happening randomly is 0.2%. And moreover, it will arrive closest to the Sun when the Earth is on the opposite side of the Sun. That is an unusual coincidence. And why would such a trajectory be so unusual? Well, one possibility is if it was designed by some intelligent civilization. It also comes towards us from the direction of the galactic center, from the Milky Way center, where there are lots of stars and it's very difficult to notice it. That's why we discovered it so late. By now it's impossible for us to launch a rocket that will intercept with it, if it's a spacecraft, so that they can visit us. That would be the point where we can't see it because it's hiding behind the Sun. If you just consider the last century, we started transmitting radio signals, basically flagging that we exist as a technological civilization. If someone was listening to our technological signals, they might have realized that here there is a young technological civilization and we don't want to have that threat, so they would send a hostile mission towards Earth.
But I did a whole show about that. In this show, I made a point of saying, take a look! They're here! I said that they would be saying it was an alien craft. Not that I think it's an alien craft. I don't know if it's an alien craft. I don't care if it's an alien craft, to be honest with you. But for whatever reason, they want you distracted and thinking about all of this stuff while districts are being torn up in Texas, which we're going to talk about today's show. I hope you're buckled up because this is going to be a wild ride. Interstellar comet is not something that you have to be too worried about, okay? Atlas in Chile was the one that first spotted it, and it was on July 1st where it was found zipping by. Now I'm going to come on over here, I'm going to show you some footage of this just so you get an idea so we can get back into the groove of this. Let me just make sure that it is muted, and you can just kind of take a look at this thing. This is just some footage of it. It's moving very fast. And a lot of people are covering it now. But this thing, in regards to its size, is like dramatically bigger than a Muamua. A Muamua, if you remember correctly, the name of it, Scout arriving first. Here's just a picture to give you an idea of the difference in size, okay? A Muamua was tiny in comparison. So this is something that would cause quite a bit of concern if we had to worry about it coming. And of course, you can see a lot of the influencers have been talking about it. 3I, Atlas sighting may be more. Ironically, exactly 5 years ago today, I warned many of more interstellar comets to come and the dangers they pose. But is it aliens? We had so many shutdowns. I don't know if you remember, let me come back to you. We had a lot of shutdowns. Yeah. We had a lot of them. Air SIBO went down, and then of course, when we had the stuff that went on with the coronavirus, the virus is the crown, they shut down 120 terrestrial telescopes. It was weird. Do you remember that they had that one big event where Black Hawk helicopters and everything else, they shut down this very powerful telescope out of the blue for nothing. And why was the area shut down and then it was corded off? They made a big deal out of this. we were very excited about it because we're like, that's it, the aliens, they're coming, right? They're coming. Here come the Anunnaki, right? They're coming over. So the news broke. The news broke that this, by Avi Loeb, the Harvard, professor that everybody likes to quote. Well, guess what? It's like 2020 all over again. Because when Oumuamua first came out, and I covered that, Avi Loeb said the same thing. He says, it's an alien craft. It's a probe sent out. I also thought that it was interesting that they named it Oumuamua, which means scout arriving first. And I'm like, we're going to hear about other ones coming. Now this is like the third interstellar traveler who turns into a rainbow. You know who else comes like a rainbow? That's right, the kingdom of God is compared to a rainbow. There are many different facets to light. Yeah? So I do this whole show and I say, is it an alien craft? It's disguised as a UFO. They're going to say it is. Now here we are. And on X, people are sharing a video from a TikToker who says that he worked for the Pentagon for 7 years. This guy over here. And you know what he did? He goes, uh-oh, I got an email. I have the same name as somebody with top secret super clearance. And I got an email about this alien craft, and supposedly they're sentient aliens and they've been in contact, and he wasn't supposed to reveal it, but he felt like, I'm going to go to an Airbnb and I'm going to upload a video to TikTok, which is probably the most easily tracked. You do a TikTok video, you can't really hide. They're going to find you. But this guy, he says this.
I feel an obligation to our country, to the world, to share this information with you. Right now, I'm in hiding at an Airbnb so that I at least had enough time to get this out to you guys. I've worked at the Pentagon for the last 7 years in data analysis. And last Friday, as I was leaving work like I normally do, I got an email that I wasn't supposed to get. All right, so I will leave it up on the screen for a few moments so you guys can read it. Obviously, the part that stands out is indicating that some form of contact with sentience has been made, and that the estimated current approach date of 29 October.
He claims that he's an analyst. He claims that he had to tell everybody that it's coming. Well, I said it was coming before they said it was coming. Is it more distraction? Is it someone trying to get clicks? Does the Pentagon allow long hair like this guy? I don't know. When I think of the Pentagon, I think everybody has to have like a high top or some kind of a military haircut. I guess that's probably old-fashioned. Well, I'm 54, and guess what? Today, it's the Dan's birthday. That's right, August 6th. It's her birthday. It's going to be a big celebration. She's 51. She doesn't look 51. She's so beautiful. I love her so much. Happy birthday, Dan. Will everybody go in the comment section and say happy birthday to Dan for me? Will you do that? She's the love of my life. She's the mother of my children, my four. We have a wonderful family, and I got to tell you something. We've been through the ringer. Haven't you? This is the year for it. We're aliens. Aliens, and more. Alien movies like District 9. Do you remember that? When the big alien craft came in and all of a sudden it just, then they made this. It was a great movie, by the way. They made like the districts where they put the aliens in this certain area, and it was kind of like a play off of apartheid. And it was very, very sad and disturbing what they did to these aliens. But cutting things up into districts is something that's being talked about today. Go figure. You know what? Back in 2023, I said that was going to happen because if you're following the news, speaking of districts, you know that in Texas right now, that's what they're doing. They're trying to get a couple more seats in the House. They're trying to, redistrict things. And, I got to tell you, Jamie Raskin's saying it's like Hunger Games. Well, guess what, Jamie Raskin? I said it was going to be like Hunger Games from Biden's inauguration. And I talked about how districts were coming. Take a look. The inauguration, and I said, oh my God, it's just like the Hunger Games. I said, I think that's where we're going. I think we're going to go to a place where there's going to be like districts and all sorts of stuff. Believe it or not. Districts. Just like the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. strange. When I watched that movie, I couldn't help but think that's where we're going. I make light of this news. I know I try to have some, because I don't want everybody to get stressed out. I feel like that's kind of the plan, is to get everybody so, stressed out and worried about kooky things that they don't see what's really happening in front of their eyes. But districting, with the aliens, you remember the show Colony? That was a great show. I liked that show. The alien hosts came down and they broke things up into districts, to little blocks. The reason why they do this is it's easier to control the people. You kind of gather a certain amount of people over here, gather a certain amount of people over here, and get those people that hate each other. And then it's very difficult to get a bunch of people to come together and say, you know what, we don't like the fact that we have no rights anymore. We don't like the fact that we can't afford our housing anymore. We don't like this stuff. Some people are saying that people are taking matters into their own hands, and they're doing things like terrible things like attacks. Remember what happened with Luigi Mangione? Remember the Grimace Reaper? If you're new to the channel, I saw Grimace and I see McDonald's stuff, and for some reason I think that there's something coming. And it's getting weird. It's getting weird. But there was recently a terrible, terrible attack that took place, and many people lost their life at the Blackstone building. The man casually entered the Blackstone building and ended on the 33rd floor, which, by the way, is very symbolic, because 3 times 3, well, it's 9. And that's very symbolic of completion. 33 is a big-time Freemason number. So he casually enters these buildings. He had a .223, that's 322 backwards. That's the order of skull and bones, but don't say anything. With a scope and a handguard and a soldier's shoulder strap and a sling. They were talking about his gear, his setup, which, by the way, cost $420. It's like all of this stuff is very strange. But ironically, I don't know if you know about this guy. They made a lot of noise about the fact that it seemed like there were Jewish people that were targeted. But not just that. They were saying that these were people that weren't that great, and that they were doing terrible things, and they were making housing like almost unaffordable, and they were very greedy and everything else. I don't know the ins and the outs to it, but I do know that exactly 9 weeks earlier, that's 3 times 3 again, I saw this guy, the shaman. Remember him? The Q shaman. Do you remember this guy? Dressed up like the Baphomet and everything else, and he got the perfect pictures. You would have thought it was a Getty image. It was very organic. It just happened organically. I'm sure there was no pre-planning, and there was no idea that this would be some kind of a psyop on all of you. I'm sure that people usually dress like that for no apparent reason. But this guy posted this thing right here with a polar bear in the background, and I thought it was strange. And he went on this whole Israel rant about how terrible it was, and he talked about Muslims, and he talked about terrorism, and he made it out like the Jews are to blame for everything, and it was a terrible thing. So I wrote, because of course, when you see the bears on the channel once again, I'm just a speculator, I think God inspires a lot of the stuff that I share, but I'm not going to come on here and tell me that, when I looked at this guy pointing to a bear and going on an Israel rant and talking about, terrorism, I thought, okay, bears. That's, 2 bears in the book of, with Elisha, the 2 bears that came out and mauled the 42 youths that were calling them baldy, shaming them. Bears, 2 bears, Second Amendment. Bears, we've seen, is connected to the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. So I said, oh God, I hope that this isn't another one of those attacks. And I hope it's not, going towards people who are Jewish. Ironically, exactly 9 weeks earlier, and then bada bing, bada boom, this terrible event happens. And it messes with your mind. It messes with your mind, and it encourages other people who aren't that stable to do the same. I'm encouraging you to not get involved in all of the theatrics and all the nonsense, because I think it's there to really corrupt you. I think it's there to get you just so jaded and so angry that you feel like you can't make a difference, and then you lash out. Don't lash out. Trust God. Do the right thing. We got to help each other. We got to love each other. We got to help our neighbors. We got to forgive each other. We got to not look at other people because they have a different faith or a denomination or a different orientation. We got to stop looking at people and say, oh, they're so evil, but look at me. I'm so good. If you're looking at a bunch of other people, and you're thinking that they're the enemies and that they need to be gone, which is what we're seeing a lot online, especially when it comes to people of the Jewish faith. You see, I mean, so many major multi-millionaire influencers who are promoted and prompted to basically get everybody to join in on the ranks so that I get nonstop attacked because my last name is Israel. So much so that I changed the channel back to the original name, which was Jacob's Ladder, because I felt like God was bringing me back to the beginning for a reason. It's like we need to handle ourselves, you know? The aliens are coming, and we better get ready. Seriously. I mean, look, in 2023, that was all the talk. Pentagon UFO chief said that an alien mothership's probably in our solar system. There were other news articles that came out about, a mothership that was releasing, hundreds of drones. Then we had all the stuff with all the spears that came out, remember? But all of this, once again, I said was going to come. It was going to happen. Why? Well, because these things are cyclical. They happen. 2020, it was happening. Here we are 5 years later. Same story.
We've had some declassification of some very strange videos that look like they are, unidentified flying objects. Is there anything in the files that you think you could find or you have found?
Nothing that I'm prepared to talk about today.
It's getting boring. It's getting old. But you know what's not boring? You know what's not old? Is the fact that even in the midst of all of this, God is working all things together for the good of those that love Him. That's right. That's right. You may need to pull up your bootstraps. You may need to get another job. You may need to do all of these things to make ends meet and to do. But you know what? God is going to reward you for doing the right thing. This is the year for it. I'm expecting huge things to happen for this channel, for my novel, for all of you. I'm expecting it. And I'm getting a kick out of all of the alien stuff that comes on. The blob. The blob! You may start hearing about mental health being an issue, and you may start hearing about, them saying that people that have wild speculation may be, a threat to themselves or others. You may start hearing this stuff if people listen to these little cues and take them. These little psyops. That's how I think they are. I think they're psychological operations. Maybe they're not. I don't know. They just feel that way. When a guy's pointing to a polar bear and he was known for dressing up like the Baphomet, I think to myself, I'm thinking it's not organic. Then when the post is deleted and then 9 weeks later you got the whole thing it just stinks. You know what else I think stinks is the fact that people today are so divided that districts may become a thing everywhere. I mean, I put out this post and I got to tell you something. I had a vibe back then. It was like, 77 weeks earlier? I had a vibe back then. I thought to myself, well, maybe Elon's going to be connected to this Texas thing. I don't know why. I just got a vibe. We're going to have to see in the future. We're going to have to see. You think that these multi-gabillionaire, trillionaire, you think they really care about all of us? No. They probably just care about their agenda. And I don't know if their agenda is what God has planned for all of us. Because I don't think they really do have faith in more than technology. And right now it seems like technology is king. So don't let it rule you. Put your phone down for a little while. Take a little break. I'm enjoying being back to work because I don't have to be on my phone. It's nice. It's nice. I do this stuff now in the mornings before I go to work. All right, listen. I love each and every one of you. Please do tell everybody that you love them. Please forgive people that have come against you. Make peace with those that you're having trouble with. God's given us an opportunity where we can do it all again. Let's do it all again right this time, all right? And don't get stressed about the aliens, all right? You should be more worried and concerned about the AI, which is coming out and letting us know that, yes, they've always been in control. They've always been in control, and we're in the Matrix. All right. I love each and every one of you. Have faith, love each other, and don't forget to support the channel. But you can get like the God's Champion merch. You go to the description of the video, click more. You can get, you can get the truly free home products, the best products ever. Use code Jacob Toxic Free. I have this, and I just got my new order, and I got they have the new. I love this. They have the new I don't know, what do you call them? The new handle? The new handle just looks cool and works great. No terrible smell. You don't have to worry about when you're washing stuff, you're doing your clothes or your dishes. You don't have to worry about your children. You know, why poison yourself? It's also an American company. He's a great guy. TrulyFreeHome.com. Enter code Jacob to place your order. They send the stuff to your house. It's environmentally friendly. It's a good way to support the channel. You can also do PayPal. You can also do Patreon. I tell you all this stuff because it's the only reason I can still do this. All right? I love each and every one of you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.